the state of Penn State football. We dive into it.
You are listening to the Mark Lesko podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko podcast.
Welcome back in, everybody, to another episode of the Mark Lesko podcast. Just me tonight. Wanted to talk the state of Penn State football, where we're at right now in terms of as a team, a coaching staff, a fan base. There's a lot to jump into, but I'm going to keep it fairly short and sweet. We'll see who hops on tonight in the comments. Few things here, guys, with Penn State. This past weekend, under the tutelage of Coach Terry Smith in his fourth week as the head coach, I saw a team that played actual Penn State football. I have not seen, not 100%, but probably 95% of that game was Penn State football, the Penn State football that we know, that we have known for all of you that watched before Franklin. Maybe a couple times when Franklin was the coach, did I say, that's Penn State football right there? I never felt that identity of Penn State football under him totally. Never did. I never liked him. I always thought there was just something off about the guy in the sense that he just wasn't the best coach. There was just things that I saw in terms of performance that I thought, man, this is just not good football. This is not good coaching. Under Terry Smith, we've seen that. And we saw that last week. When it counted, we didn't pull it out, unfortunately. When it counted, we dove into the gimmicky stuff, which, again, I get very frustrated with. He made changes at halftime this past week. We saw stuff that we haven't seen in a while, and that's the proudest I've been of a Penn State football team in 12 years. So I was very proud of the team when I started school there under Joe Paterno. I was very proud of the team under Bill O'Brien. I knew how hard they worked to play, to put the product that they did on the field. Didn't have a losing season after Stephen A. Smith said we should have the death penalty, which was an absolute joke. I knew what they were going through because I tried out for the team. There was a lot of preparation that went into that. Not a lot of sleep. Lots of time in the weight room. Lots of time studying like you don't have a life. And those guys that, first of all, the guys that were already playing under Joe, you don't have a life. Football is your job in college. And then under Bill O'Brien, it was increased, I would say, because they didn't have time to mess around. And you saw it. I mean, didn't have a losing season. So after all of that, new coach playing basically third strings and below, and you still compete with Ohio State, for example. You compete with some of the top teams in the Big Ten. You still make it happen. That's the proudest I've been of a team in a very long time. Terry Smith said at halftime they went in, and the play calling was not what it should have been, and clearly that changed because they came out and scored points. There's always the point that people make of we need to be less conservative with the playbook. And I understand what that means, obviously. I understand what they say, what they mean when they say that. But what I see it as with Joe, for example, sure, Joe had a conservative offense, but I think the proper word for Joe's offense, he was very methodical. He was very mathematical about his play calling. He was always very strategic, and he knew football. I mean, he was really good at what he did because he was really smart, and he approached football that way. I think the word for it was a combination of simplicity and conservatism with the play calling under Joe. So I've said this many times on here this season. I said we need to simplify everything. Simplify the defense, simplify the offense. Terry Smith has definitely done that. The word is simplify the play calling. It's not that it's too conservative or it's too this or it's too that. They need to simplify it for these kids, for these players. Once you simplify things and you make them basic, as much talent as this team has, you can just simplify the offense and the defense and you'll be fine. That's what they did. We saw that Saturday. It didn't look like the same offense until it mattered, unfortunately. But like I said, 95% of that game was old school Penn State football. Just run it down your throat, simply simplifying the offense, moving the ball down the field. More than a four-man rush, got sacks. I mean, they had, 3-4 sacks? So this is a different team, guys, and we have a good quarterback in Grunkmeyer. So to kind of make my point, when you simplify the offense, I don't think the conservative word even needs said or even matters. Because if you simplify the offense, you can be as conservative as you want. Conservative offense doesn't mean it means minimizing risk. But when you simplify the offense and you say, okay, we're going to run the ball until they stop us, or we're going to throw deep here, we're going to run simple wide receiver routes, and there'll be option routes for the receiver. They just have to be on the same page as the quarterback. I mean, in 2008, I reference that season a lot. That offense was called the Spread HD offense. It was Galen Hall and Jay Paterno and Joe. What did they do? It's called the Spread HD for a reason. They had multiple options, multiple players, multiple plays that they could run. Okay. While it wasn't conservative, it was a fairly simple concept. We're going to use our weapons that we have. We're stacked. We're going to use our weapons. That was the simplicity of the Spread HD was we're just going to utilize what we have. That's it. We're going to fit it to our guys. And was that play calling conservative? It really wasn't, but I can also see how it was. They took shots downfield. They threw the ball all over the place. They ran the ball. They ran the option. They did everything. That was the Spread HD. What they did was they kept it simple by simply saying, we're going to utilize our talent. That's it. That's all they did. I mean, that's all they had to do. Give me a second here. Sorry, my audio wasn't that great. I'll have to check that. Was using the wrong mic, but The spread HD was a simple concept. We are going to utilize our weapons. When you simplify defense, when you simplify offense, you can be conservative or not conservative. That really isn't a factor in the equation. The only factor is, are we going to simplify it, utilize our guys? Then you can do whatever you want. You can be conservative and have success. You can be complex and have success. But as long as you keep the basics simple, you can do whatever you want with that. So, like on Landon's show tonight, they were talking. He said he's been saying a lot. You need to be less conservative. You need to be less conservative. I don't think that's really the word. They need to be more simple. We had Daryl Clark. We had Evan Royster. We had Stephon Green. We had Graham Zug. We had Derek Moy. We had Derek Williams. We had Jordan Norwood. We had Deion Butler. We had Mickey Scholler. We had a stacked offensive line. Okay? We had Andrew Corliss. You guys, for those of you that watched then, you know who I'm talking about. They had so many weapons that they could do whatever they wanted. And they ran a simple concept offense. That's what they need to do with this team. That's what they did Saturday most of the time. It was the same for the defense in 2008. What did they do? Ran a 4-3. They had Jared Odrick. They had Maurice Evans. They had Josh Gaines, Ollie Ogbu. They had Navarro Bowman, Josh Hall, Anthony Scarrato, Mark Rubin, A.J. Wallace, Justin King. Oh, I'm sorry, not Justin King. They had Terrell Sales. They had everything they needed. And the thing is, all right, Anthony Scarrato was a good safety. Mark Rubin was a good safety. A.J. Wallace was a good corner. Knowledge Timmons, Lydell Sargent, good corners. But they weren't like, they were athletic, but they weren't the best athletes in the world. They didn't have to be because the concept was simple. It was a simple concept defense. It was little takeaway. We're going to stop you from advancing down the field. That's it. It was a simple 4-3. That's what they ran. And they had one of the best defenses in the country that year. Navarro Bowman, one of the best linebackers ever played at Penn State, he played in a simple 4-3, and you saw what he did. He was an absolute freak. If they would have done that with Abdul Carter, Chop Robinson, Micah Parsons, if they had just run more simple stuff with this talent, they would have been in a way better shape. I mean, they may have won a national title. So, in terms of the offense, what Terry Smith did is he took his Joe Paterno coaching knowledge, applied it to this team, and we saw what happened. They almost beat the number 2 team in the country. I mean, Indiana is good. What they did at the end of the game was nothing short of amazing. 2 minutes. First of all, they stopped. Penn State totally blew it when they were trying to run out the clock. They utilized the 2-minute timeout, got the ball back. It was, a minute 50? They went down and scored. I mean, that was nothing short of amazing what they did. And for Mendoza, if he is truly in the Heisman talks, I'm not saying it because Gus said it. He doesn't know anything. If he truly is in the Heisman race, okay, well, that's the Heisman moment right there. I have not seen another player yet this season do that. So he should be in the running for the Heisman. Ohio State hasn't had to do that once this year. Be down, run down, score like that. They don't really play anybody this year. I mean, they played us, and that's an absolute dumpster fire. Texas has gotten better, but looking at it now, if they played again, Ohio State would probably beat them by more. So no shot at Ohio State. I'm just simply saying that was the moment right there for Indiana. And for Penn State, the reason that they kept that close is because they simplified things. They came out at the end of the half. They came out at the beginning of the second half, threw the ball, and it was intercepted. That's what we want to see. We want to see them throw the ball. We want to see them try. They did. It got picked off, and that's fine. But keep doing it. They simplified things. That's why they had success. So, going forward, with this team, I don't know what's going to happen. With the staff, with the players, I don't know. But I do know this. We have a new team. We have a good quarterback. Terry Smith running things will work. And I think we win out, first of all. And because it's a Terry Smith coach team, I think we go to a bowl after winning out. The players play in the bowl because of Terry Smith. James Franklin, he would just let him walk. Terry Smith, we will have a majority of our squad playing in whatever bowl there is. I think we win out and we go to a bowl. Okay? He pretty much has his full grip on this team, Terry Smith. And you see what has happened. Now, another thing that Landon said this today that I watched, and my jaw was on the floor when he said it, because I did say this before. Brett and I said this before, but we didn't think it was actually true. Drew Aller technically can come back. Okay? And a lot of you will say, well, I don't want that. We don't want Drew Aller coming back. I get it. Drew Aller was totally sabotaged and ruined by these coaches. Okay? They totally shafted this kid. The OC totally sabotaged his career. Both OCs. I mean, my God. Andy Kotelnicki, an RPO, Big 12 OC, brings that to Penn State and says, we're running my offense. We're not running what our players have as an offense. We're running my offense, and whether it works or not, we're going to run it. I mean, that's absolute clown coaching. Drew Aller, what he needs is a QB coach who will give him some confidence, like a Pep Hamilton type of guy. Okay? What we need is a head coach that's going to give our QB some confidence. What we need is competent, simple coaching. Now, if Drew Aller had some different coaching, I think he would have been way better. But I agree with you, Chris. Give me Gronk over Drew all day. But I just make the point that, and what Landon said today is, if he does come back, we saw what his best game was West Virginia at home in his first game. He was doing great. I think that was the best game of his career. And then he was sabotaged by the coaching. So it's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about. Now, I think, what's up, Faf? So it's an interesting thing to think about that if he came back and we got rid, so let's say he comes back, Terry Smith is given the head coach. All right. I think we need to give Jim Knowles some time. He said his defense takes 3 years. Franklin hired him. That's not his fault. Okay. We need to give him some time. I think he is a great coach. And once we get his stuff down, we could be an elite defense. Okay. So, and you fill in the pieces where you fill in the pieces. But if Terry Smith does come back, he needs to get rid of Danny O'Brien as soon as possible. I never liked him. I don't like him. He is not a good coach. He gives Drew zero confidence. Zero. And a lot of that is on Drew, but a lot of that is on the coaching. Coaches win games. Players win games. Coaches lose them. So, again, from the neck up, I don't think Drew has what he needs, but he also hasn't had the coaching. In addition, when you simplify the offense, for example, Evan Royster had vision. That's what made him so great. He had vision. Nick Singleton does not have vision. But when you simplify the offense like they did, you saw what he did this week. That's because they simplified things. Katron, absolute freak of a running back. A monster. He benefited too. You saw him make some really good runs. Even for him, they were good. And he's been really good this year. So I'll just put the Drew thing to the side, but if let's say Terry Smith comes back, okay, they win a bowl, maybe. It's possible. We have a real coach now and a good quarterback. Let's say they win out. I like the idea of him being the head coach because I am pleased after this week of what we saw. Although it was a heartbreaking loss, I am pleased with what we saw. In addition to that, if he were to come back, some things that I wouldn't like is if he tried to keep people like Andy Kotelnicki, which I don't think he would. I don't think he would keep Danny O'Brien. I think he would keep Anthony Poindexter, who, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best coaches in the country. Regardless, I think our defensive backs are still very good, regardless of what we've seen this year. He would keep Jordan Lucas, played for Penn State, played under Franklin. He would have to block Franklin's number, and everyone would have to be forbidden from speaking to him, players and coaches, from speaking to Franklin. I want no part of him in this program. So Terry Smith, if he were to come back and be given the head coaching position, he would absolutely have to make some changes, or I would not be happy. The fan base would not be happy, and it wouldn't be enough for me. So let's say we have what we need. We have Terry Smith. We have Jim Knowles. We have Poindexter. We have the strength staff. We have Jordan Lucas. We have Dan Connor. I mean, it could happen. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I truly do think that we win out. And I'm going to pull up the rest of their schedule. So here's what we're looking at. Wrong team. I clicked on Nebraska on the schedule. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Michigan State, 3-6. Same record. Their coach is way worse. I think we could win this game. After what I saw last week, we have a full grip of Terry Smith, pretty much a full grip of Terry Smith on this team. I think that's a win. Nebraska, again, due to injury, which we don't want to see, but it is fortunate for us, which is a compliment to Raiola, that he is not playing against us. We could win that game. And the crowd will be hyped. Because I think a lot of the fans are thinking the same way I am. We saw a different team, and Terry Smith is a solid coach. And a lot of that recruiting, guys, that happened these past 12 years was Terry Smith. Okay? Rutgers, I think we could win that one too. And then what are we looking at? Obviously, not the playoffs, not a big-time bowl, but a decent bowl against whoever, and it could be a good one, and we could win. So, again, Terry Smith, I think he's a solid coach. I think he has pretty much, like I said, his full grip on this team right now, and we're going to see it, I think, in the next couple games. We win out. We go to a bowl. We at least compete or win. And then going forward, what do you have to say? I mean, this team was an absolute dumpster fire. What Franklin did to this team he should be arrested. I mean, that's how bad it is. He demolished this team. And he quit on them, which is absolutely pathetic. But just got done watching my Birds win. Grunk really is improving. Hopefully he keeps growing. I'm sold on K, though. Grunkmeyer's a gunslinger with balls who delivers deadly long-range missiles. Once he learns to pump fake, he will be elite. Singleton is one cutback. You got to have a good zone blocking setup for him. He needs a good gas for his first move. Rules say if you play over 30% for a season, you are eligible for medical redshirt. Not sure how Drew would be able to come back based on that. Yeah, you'll have to ask the Landon about that, but he explained it, how like the NCAA is being like lenient with stuff, and you'll have to just watch his video. He breaks it down. But I like Terry Smith. He made some mistakes last game, but he has only been a head coach for a few weeks. I doubt they would hire him head coach, though. Kraft is determined to fix the NIL issue. I think he should stay on the team regardless, but Terry Smith will be first retained coach, but zero chance of being head coach. Yeah, Chris, I mean, I'm not talking like what people are saying. I'm talking like, I mean, people said Franklin wouldn't be fired. So no one knows what's going to happen right now. But I'm not talking about what people are saying who are not on the team or the staff. Maybe some of what you're hearing is from that. I don't know. But I'm talking what I'm watching. And the reality of the situation is what I'm watching is he's a solid coach. And he could prove himself. And he may put us in a good position. That's the reality right now. So I don't know how there's zero chance of that. I think there's zero chance that we know anything of what could happen. But yeah, I just hope he stays if he doesn't get head coach. Yeah, and I hope he doesn't go with Franklin. Franklin is absolutely going to have his sights set on us, which doesn't matter because he's a clown. But pretty much the only thing he could hurt us in is recruiting, really, because he brainwashes a bunch of the players that he recruits, and he has brainwashed many. But right now, what we see and what we're going to see, I think, is good. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see if they win out. But the product that I saw, I did like. And where we saw a collapse, unfortunately, was in the key spots of the game. And again, that needs to stop right now. Because Kotelnicki will not be here next year, thank God. No rational person would keep him as a coach. He might have his claws dug in too deep into the program for this season, which is why Terry Smith hasn't gotten rid of him, but he will not be here next year, thank God. He is horrible at his job. They are down to their final candidates and have deals in place for 2 of them. Terry will most likely be retained. Nice. Awesome. Good, Chris. It's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. Can you say who they are? I've heard one. And I'll say this. I heard from a source Saturday or Sunday, that Brian Hartline's contract is almost done. So that's one guy that I heard. And this is from a very solid source. So, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Like, no, I don't think anyone knows. But there's a world where Terry stays. Kraft has definitely been considering it. He turned down Urban. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think it's absolutely possible, Faf, 100%. I heard Eli Drink, but I don't know the other. Yeah, so it's Drink, Hartline, and I don't know. Drink is one, maybe Braum is other. Hartline would take the job, but he's not getting the offer. Okay. All right. So it's Drink and Braum. Hartline is definitely like a consideration, but people have to say no first. So the whole story that I heard about, it was 5-year, $40 million. Now they could have said, well, that's Hartline. They could have been guessing as to who it was, but that's what I heard. And so we'll see. I mean, so Chris, Hartline is not going to be the head coach. Is that right? Like, or do these 2 guys have to turn it down first before he gets considered? I just hope Terry Smith comes back. No one in their right mind would keep Danny O'Brien. He's horrible. No one in their right mind would keep Kotelnicki. No one in their mind would keep half of these guys. Dan Connor, I think, should stay. Jordan Lucas should stay. Poindexter, very good coach, should stay. But some of them might go to Franklin. I don't know, man. I don't want a lot of people leaving to go with Franklin because they're just wasting their time. It's an absolute train wreck joke of a move if you go and coach with him somewhere. You're going to go to VT and be the greatest VT coach of all time. I mean, that's the thing. Frank Beamer, like, he'll just crap all over him because he'll have no respect for him. He has no respect for this school, so he's not going to have respect for them. And another legend in the coaching world, like Joe. There's a third unknown guy I don't know of. They're looking to take high speed. At least 3 guys would have to turn down the job before Hartline got offered, and 2 of them already said yes. Wow. Wow. Breaking news, guys. I guess we got our head coach here soon. Because we're going to hear before December 3rd. Like, we're going to hear within 3 weeks, we're going to have our head coach. Let's see the math on that. Yeah, within 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to know who our next head coach is. I pretty much guarantee you that. So 2 have already said yes, Chris. Okay, so we'll just say it's either Drink or Brom, which means Bo and Zollers are both coming back, hopefully. You know, Chris made the point of the NIL dollars and all the ties and stuff there, but end November, yep. So, Chris, just to tell us what you this is breaking news, guys. So if you're on here, you're one of the first ones to hear. So, Chris, is it Drink and Brom? Do you think? And they both said yes. So what's the holdup on either one? Well, this don't mean much, but my grapevine said Brom is 3rd and Campbell was 2, but they're only 70% on that. Okay. So who's 1? Faf. So pretty much with Heartline, what it's coming down to is people have to say no first, and that's not happening because 2 have already said yes. Drink. Okay. All right. So it could be, and again, the home run hire aspect of this, that makes sense. That would be pretty much a home run hire. You're pulling a head coach from the SEC. Buckeye fans sneaking in to see the great news. What's up, man? Welcome in. Subscribe if you haven't. Guys, please like, share, subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subs. We have memberships and super chats, so support us if you want. But please hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 1,000. Well, the great news for you, man, would be that Heartline's not leaving, I guess. Is that what you want? Because I wouldn't want him to leave either if I was you. You'd be out of your living mind if you take Rabiola over Gronkmeyer. Rabiola throws a flat ball. There's going to be a competition, man. That's for sure. Drink is definitely 1. Brom, I think the other. But there's a 3rd. People are keeping quiet. They're making huge offer, and it's not Heartline. Elko. I mean, it has to be Elko. But I don't really want him because if he's going to leave A&M for us, he's going to leave us for somewhere else. All right. Yeah, dude, we're winning the national title the next 2 years if he comes. That is great news indeed. Freeman? Ryan Day. Thanks, Richie. We're high on Ryan Day, Richie. Is that what? Nah, just kidding. Definitely not Urban Meyer. He's done. As much as I would love that. So the 3rd, I would say, is probably Elko, man. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's a guy that I have heard nothing about, you know. So, but then again, Chris said it last time that O'Brien was someone that no one was talking about, and they hired him. and he was coming off literally an undefeated regular season. They were 19-1 going into the Super Bowl? Yeah. 19-1. 18-1. They were 18-0 going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it wouldn't have been undefeated. 18-0 going to the Super Bowl. And he just came off that season. So, of course, he made Matt McGloin into a great quarterback. A pretty good quarterback. The Heartline stuff has never changed. It's always been 3 to 4 sitting head coaches would have to say no. Okay. So I don't know. My guess, the third guy is Elko. That's what I would say. The third guy is Elko, and I think we're paying him 12 to 15 million. It's probably going to be like 5 years, 75 million. I would say somewhere in there, 4 or 5 years, because you have to give him at least 4 or 5 years at least. Elko was the one I heard a lot a couple weeks ago, but I figured he was no. O'Brien was trying really hard to be candidate again for PSU, but PSU not interested again. Well, yeah, he left because of politics. He did not like recruiting. He did not like NIL. He didn't like recruiting. So, I mean, look at it now. It's way worse. It's a totally different game now. So, yeah, so I don't know what that source meant by the Heartline stuff, but but anyway, you guys are hearing it here right now. I don't know if anyone else has talked about this, but this is kind of breaking news that it's coming down to 3 guys. 2 have said yes. They're offering big money. It's either Brom, Drink, or maybe Elko. That's what it's coming down to. So, I mean, between Drink and Brom, man, I think I would be happy with both. But I would say it's more Drink because I think Brom's pretty committed to Louisville. So I would have to say it's probably Drink. Offensive guy. Has Bo and Zollers with him. Come down here with all these resources and get all the support. He's not an a-hole like Franklin. Yeah, Billy O, not a bad field coach, but yikes, he struggles. Yeah, has a temper. Definitely has a temper. Yeah, I think Brom would stay. So I would say it's probably Drink, guys. That's probably what we're looking at here. We're looking at Elijah Drinkowitz being our next head coach. I should probably know how to say his name right if he's going to be the next head coach. But either way, what I've stated tonight, Terry Smith needs to stay with this team. And I think he will lead us to a win out and possible bowl win. We'll definitely be in a bowl if we win out. So he should remain with this team. And I hope that the good coaches stay. But who knows? I mean, with Drink, who knows what he would do. But I would hope he'd keep like a Poindexter and a Dan Connor and a Jordan Lucas. I mean, Troutwine, I thought he was a good coach. Louisville's Brom, alma mater, so I didn't think that would happen. Yeah, and his brother, who I've said on here was his son. I thought it was his son. It's his brother. Jeff Brom, Brian Brom. Brian Brom was the really good quarterback from Louisville. Was in the Heisman race in 2007. What's up? What's up, Penn State fanatic? Oh, Squitar can help with that. It's pronounced in your deepest voice. Eli Drinkowitz. All right. Eli Drinkowitz, my deepest voice. I would lean Drink, but I was told to watch for smoke screens and a lot of parallel pathing happening at the moment. Okay. So, Chris, before we jump off here, who is it going to be, you think? Like, maybe it's someone that, again, you don't know. Like, no one knows who it would actually be, but who do you think it would be? And then I'll hop off here, guys. I'm doing a member video I'm posting another member video tonight, guys. So for those of you that are members, you can check that out. But again, guys, I think we do win out. Michigan State, not good. Nebraska, their starting quarterback is out. Rutgers, not good, never good. And then what kind of bowl games are we looking at? I mean, I've seen some possibilities. I don't know. Maybe you guys have seen it. But I like I said, I am pleased with the performance this past week. I think Coach Smith really has a good grip on the team, and it's going to be I think we're going to be really happy with the way this season ends. I do. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a win in a bowl game, but I think we win out and we go to a bowl and we compete. And I think guys will play because it's Coach Smith. And I think guys will return that can, like an AJ Harris, a Tony Rojas, guys like that. I think he would help retain most of the roster. Drink, if he would come into. Yeah, I really hope we went out for the guy's sake. Would be nice to end on a positive note. Absolutely. Yes, it would. I mean, think about it, guys. That would be amazing. What wrong? If we beat Indiana, that would have really helped recruiting. But it would really help recruiting and the retaining of the roster if we went out and go to a bowl. My guess would be drink, but nothing is definite. But drink is principle already accepted. PSU doing final. Wow. Kevin Brown, really? Why would he go there? But anyway, all right, guys, you heard it here. That's a good source that we're talking to just here right now. My guess is the other source said this was the deal, but he just didn't get the name right. I don't know. His dad played for. Okay, that makes sense. But still, don't go there. But you guys heard it here. Spread the word. Looks like Drinkowitz is going to be the next head coach of Penn State football, and he's going to bring Bo Prabula. We're going to have him, Grunk if he stays, which I think he will, and Matt Zollers. I love Grunkmeyer. I think he's a great quarterback, and I hope he stays because I think ultimately he's going to be the starter next year. I mean, Bo, I don't know. But either way, he's going to be bringing Zollers with him most likely, and he's the next quarterback for us, I think. The Pepto-Bismol Bowl. It'll be better than the Toilet Bowl. So, Pepto-Bismol Bowl. That would be a great bowl, man. We'd be mixing that in our beer. All right, guys. Again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate the support. Chris, thank you. Faf, thank you. Penn State Fanatic. Mike, Richie, welcome in, man. Brooklyn, USA. All you guys, thanks for commenting. I appreciate it. And again, we will see you guys. Have a good night, Mark. Thanks, Faf. I just want them to make a cereal bowl. Yeah. Pop-Tart bowl. That's what I want. The Pop-Tart bowl, honestly. We get to eat the Pop-Tart at the end, man. That's like, they should do that. They should do that if for a national title game. Are you kidding me? You get to eat a giant Pop-Tart? They should do that for the best team in the country, not just some low-tier bowl. I mean, that's an amazing post-game thing, eating a giant Pop-Tart. I would love to do that. I would be motivated to eat a giant Pop-Tart. Goshen to Ocean City, Maryland Bowl. That'd be fun. All right, guys. Again, thanks for coming on. KC Flying Bear. I drink to drink. Coming as time to get drunk at the game. Okay. All right, Casey. All right, guys. We will see you this week for pregame. Well, tomorrow for pregame. Going to have Tyler Smith on again, cover Penn State basketball. And I'm going to have Chris on again here soon. Hopefully by the time Chris comes on this week, maybe we'll have even more updates here. So, Chris, I will stay in touch with you, but thank you guys. Really appreciate the support. Really appreciate the comments. Have a great night.